What's up, family? I want this message to go out to all my people, and I want you to be able to reconsider your place in this society. As we have been created, bred like dogs, to move in this society. So I'm talking to everybody. If you are a person who has their PhD in business or your PhD in the streets, understand you have been groomed to move for one master. You have been groomed to move under one principle, and that is to give everything that you have, your thoughts, your time, your money, your children, your family, your religion, to the master. You understand, the master speaks to you in various ways, such as when you get your master's degree, you get your master's degree. When you are in the streets, you are moving in his cesspool because he taught you how to move as a gangster. If you go back into your ancestry, and for most of us in this country called America, our ancestry goes back to the land. There are some of us whose bloodlines go back to Africa, but most of our bloodline hits here in America, and you've been told the story in reverse to lessen your power, to have you see yourself as not who you are. But when we talk about this system, when we talk about white supremacy, oppression, when we talk about us as a people in these streets, you've been groomed to be in the streets. And when you look back at your ancestors, there were no such things as prisons. There were no such things as gangsters, prostitutes, pimps. There was no such thing as even money. But these people who you come from lived for hundreds and thousands of years with their families. They understood what manhood was. They understood what womanhood was. They understood what it was to be an offspring of this man and this woman. They understood what it was to be a community or a tribe. They understood their place and the lines of existence onto the planet itself. They gave homage to the animals, which was the life that they used for clothing, building, medicine, food, everything that they came in contact with. Because understand, whenever or whatever we use no, not we, they used was alive. The trees, the plants, they had to bring a ritual death to the things that they used, because the ritual death was to give respect and homage to what gave them and supported their lives. And they were able to do this without polluting the planet itself. They were able to do this without raping and killing each other. Understand this thing that they've taught you about sin is a tool of control and power, just as the system of white supremacy is a tool of power and control, oppression, power and control. So you don't move in particular ways to take control of your own power, to build your own resource, and to annihilate these systems. Most people speak about what we are going through. There are a lot of plants out there. Boule, blackface for white power. And when we talk about white power, we must talk about the Zionists, as they sit at the head of the table of many burn, slash, and destroy campaigns against us. If you look like me, you should be listening to this video. You should be rethinking your existence. You should be understanding the world around you is artificial and has been created to hold you through your mind. And through your mind, you then behave to serve a master who plans to keep you for generations, and who plans to take your children and put them through the grinder and make pate for everyone else to feed off of. You are, as men, the only thing that stands between them and your children, them and your legacy, them and your everything. But they have served up empty trophies, and they have given you just emptiness through these cars, through these houses, through this fake money. You are the power, not your status that they've created. See, everything that you hold important comes from them, does not come from you. You are not the holder of any of this. There is a second level of existence that you are not privy to. There's a third layer of existence that you are not privy to, where they get to live some of their best lives. They get to drink from non-polluted waters. They get to eat non-polluted food, while they have you out here eating what they've created, living in what they created, drinking what they created. And as you are watching, you watch them sometimes go through this theater of phony fights. I'm here to attempt to make this message as simple as possible. We as men must break through these caveats of fuckery that has been built, has been built for us, so we never come into a place of power and then take our power back from these leeches. We must govern ourselves. We must take into our hands the power to say no to pregnating women just because we want to smash, and letting uncles, grandfathers, nephews, cousins molest family members. All the things that they have put into us, like rats, like dogs, serve them everything. You love a restaurant, you're serving them. You love a particular car, you're serving them. Everything. Don't let this hurt your mind. Let this elevate you. Everything that they've taught you is to cause you to go into a spiral, a depression, where you're willing to kill yourself over your girl, over your job, over your money, over your status, over who you are as a person. When you come to a realization, they've never taught you to spiral upward, to reach higher in yourself. That's why you have shows like Cheaters. When you watch Cheaters, this is verifying, teaching you to cheat, and cheating is normal. And it's not normal. There's nothing on television that is built to elevate you. All of it is to downgrade you. Where have you ever seen on TV a man who looks like me, who is elevated? You have men who come on TV talking about they're the boss. Boss of what? Boss of what? What are you the boss of? When we wake up on a plantation every day, when we wake up to the master every day, when we are subjugated every day, there are no bosses, because you have no power. You have no power to go build schools for your children. You have no power to go build hospitals. You have no power to go against the police that have our blood running in the street. When you have power to go against this system, a government that called you an enemy of the state, that has said to you they will give you no protection, they will give you no reparations, they will not recognize you. But when you perform, when you become a basketball player, when you become an NFL player, when you perform for them on the many arenas and stages of what they have built, and you will give them wealth, and you were willing to give them your power, you think you got something when you have nothing. It's all an illusion. We must start to elevate. We must start to build and move inside our minds. They talk about guns in this country. But you know what's one of the most dangerous things in this country? And it's in everybody's house. A TV. You never heard the Center of Disease and Control ever speak about the dangers of a television. Or they never speak about the dangers of the devices that are in the hands of your children. They don't speak about the dangers there. They get to choose and pick. They get to cattle you into belief systems when the very things that are killing you, they sanction. We must start to become men and women. We must come into our adulthood and womanhood. But men must be able and willing to do the job to live and die. And stop being bitches. Most men have penises, but most men are not men, because we wake up in a world that's butchering us as people. And if you wake up every day as a man and you don't feel the blade at your neck, and you are accepting of this reality, we don't have men. We have men who are allowing another man, a master, to lead them and to bring them into the slaughterhouse. Year in, year out, daily. Our children are locked up in many of these detention centers, prisons, and holding cells, such as places like Rikers, where they are breaking them, where they are creating broken vessels, where they gladiate them, where they're fucking each other, where they're creating snitches in the system. Understand, working for this master, be it a snitch, be it a 9-to-5, be it a graduate of a school, we work for them in many capacities. In some capacities we love. We think it's the greatest thing since apple pie. But we are ushering in a slavery. We are ushering in our own deaths. And they're able to stand back because they've engineered it, and they go, well, it's not us, it's them. We must be willing to start to think outside the boxes that they've taught us in. Because understand, what you understand about life, you've been taught by your master. everything. And you think they've taught you with your best interests? Kindergarten. Why is it called kindergarten? Because kindergarten is a garden and they plant a seed. And that seed germinates as you grow. Everything that you do is linked to them. This is their world. And I'm talking about here in the United States. This is their world. They created it. You think you're free because you can go to the movies, because you can go to a show, because you can go out and eat, because you can go to school. When it comes to us, they have stolen everything. Our people had everything. They came here and transversed everything. They took the very land from under our feet. They took some of our spiritual practices. They took our whole existence. They studied it. If you ever watch a show and you see how they can tell you what an animal can do, oh yeah, they've cut you open. Understand, when you in those streets and you get shot and they gotta cut you from your sternum to your penis, understand they are destroying you purposely. Because you don't understand enough about medicine and you believe this is the only thing that could save your life. But they understand they get to practice on you and they get to destroy you at the same time. This is another thing we don't understand. We don't understand that the very things that are lawful destroy us at the same time. And because they named it law, we believe it to be lawful. We believe it to be law. They've traversed the very things in front of you, and this is the genius part about these fuckers. They have been able to create a system right in front of you, right in front of your eyes. And they're able to operate right in front of you in plain sight. And you are able to be willing and shake your head and go along with it. Like when you send your children to school and they graduate throughout the levels, all the way through high school, and you're so proud and you're smiling and they're wearing the robe. What do you think them robes are about? Look up what them robes about. Look up what those robes represent. They do things to you in plain sight and have you participate in it because you're ignorant. To them, you think these schools have your best interests? They're sending your children into fields that serve a master, not serve the community, not serve the people, not serve you. You think our communities are the way they are because of us? It's because of them. They've created it that way. And then through generations of accepting that way, you stop questioning and you accept. How many people have come out of these ghettos who have made millions of dollars? Hundreds of thousands of us have come out of these so-called ghettos. And guess what? They don't turn around. They don't give back because the master tells them, don't you go back. Don't you give back. Keep on moving. If you researched how much money has been created from us in and out of the ghetto should be, there should be palaces. There should be kingdoms. Let's take something real simple like the TV and the headrest that came straight out the ghetto. You can find the TV and the headrest. You had car companies starting to do that. Understand how we are so innovative. And when we go into a field, they got to change the rules because we move past the expectations of their control, and they gotta change the rules to keep us under control. And most of us are I don't care how gangster you think you are, you're passive because you allow this master to walk all over us, to walk all over your children. They trade your children in sex trade. They fucking cut their organs out and harvest them for research to give to people who don't look like us. Because melanated organs are top notch. This melanin is more than gold. It is solid sunlight. It has power. It is able to receive and send out information. I make this video to start to speak to you and have you think about your world, to think about yourself, to take a look and bring question to what is happening and how you have the power where you stand, where you live, where you breathe. We bust guns against each other. Why you don't bust guns against your open enemy? I mean, we're ready to fight each other, kill each other, break each other down. But gentrification is happening, and what? We accept it? We've accepted it every time it's happened. But we got all these gangsters, these thugs. Our children are created to move against themselves. This is not by mistake. This is not by coincidence. This is by design. Now it's time for us to design how to fucking bring dust to these fuckers. Dust to their existence. Because they're not trying to be feasible. They're not trying to be workable. They want to keep power. Zionists look at you as golems because you're 3/4 of a person. That means they can treat you any way they want to in the spectrum of their God and get away with it. We look at people and think, oh, they're just like us. No, we are not like everybody else. Chinese and their culture, cheating is part of what they do. Everybody is not like us. Everyone in this country is an immigrant. And that's with an I and an E. They have made us believe we are like everyone else. that means we mentally lessen ourselves, and then we become part of a lot of what these people are fighting for, when they should be fighting for us, when they should be on our side, when they should be understanding that we are the way to creating a just world. We must be willing to start to govern ourselves. We must be willing to take power and control. We must be willing to go through the pain, because these people will bring the pain when you decide to do something different. And you'll find many of us are in the ground because we decided to become we decided to become alive. We decided to become power. I thank you for your time. I thank you for listening. And if you feel this message is something that should be heard, share it. But don't just share. Activate yourself. Activate your brothers. Activate your people. Understand, women have a place for women to move in this. Men are the leaders, and they must be the ones who forge the hot metal and create what must be the weapons that will play into bringing the Armageddon of the system. And that means you must activate yourself where you stand. This is where it starts. Where you have 10 toes down, where it begins in your home, which then goes throughout your community, which then goes out into your children. Your children are a mirror image of the chaos that's in you, that's been placed in you. We have to do better. And it starts right today. As soon as you hear this message, you have to understand change is not something that it has to take 100 years. When you're hungry, and those of you who are able to go to the refrigerator and get something, you change your perspective. 1, 2, 3. Your weekend should not be filled with turning up, giving your money to the Zionists, paying into this music that they called guerrilla music in the beginning, that they called jungle music in the beginning. And then this music this rap comes out of what? Spiritual music, church music. They called it, what did they fucking call it? They called it, I can't remember. Ethnic music. They, at every stage of the game, they named some name for our music that they came along and then marketed it and made billions of dollars. And they've practiced this fuckery of an industry since the beginning of since they first began the industry with our people. We have to take control. We have to make sure that we start to be able to rip from their hands the control that they have over our children, over us. And it's going to hurt you. Right here, in here, it's going to hurt you. Because for a lot of us, we don't want to run, we don't want to move away from the master. We want to hold on to him. We love him more than we love ourselves. These are the questions you need to be asking yourself. How do I love this master? What do I do to serve this master? What do I need to do to rip myself away from this master? What do I need to give up? What do I need to purge? What am I willing to do? How far am I willing to go? And as a man, you must be willing to live to die. I know I said I was done, but every time I think about something else. And it's we're in peril. We're in peril. And for a lot of us, our minds have become very soft, like putty in their hands, because they have been grooming you since children. They are pedophiles. And the art of pedophilia is to groom. Where the child, when they become an adult, they think it's all normal. And even before they become an adult, they'll think their abuse is normal. It's okay. I saw a brother find a guy who tried to molest him when he was a child. He's like, yeah, I remember you. You tried to make me think it was okay as a kid, that you wanted my butt. He said, I'm going to get you later. Because he had a little girl with him. And he was like, I'm going to get you. I'm going to handle you later. I'm going to find you again. We must stop the engineering that's been placed in us. We must question our behavior. We must go against the grain of what we understand. We must plug back into the power of our ancestors and look at what they did, and not to live in their shadow, but to create our own shadows of power, of dignity, of character, of respect, of honor, of law, of justice. And understand all those things permeate right back to the fucking earth that you stand on. When we talk about God, which is a German word, when we talk about the Creator, when we talk about this universe, this existence, it's all built in balance. It's not built in drama. It's not built in what you see on television. It's an abomination to drink out of a water bottle. Nobody's going to tell you that. Every waterway, for the most part, we were supposed to be able to drink from. Running water. The earth filters water. We were supposed to drink from almost any water source, except the salty ones. Understand the earth is made in balance. And they have come. This system has come. These Zionists have come. These Europeans have come. And they have flipped the earth upside down. And then they're going to tell you global warming. Then they're going to tell you the world is too populated. The world is overpopulated with shit that they make. You go to a fucking dump where they dump the trash. You can see how many cars that they built that are old cars that are trash now. Washing machines, appliances that they built that are trash now. They've dug from the earth. They've used the resources. And guess what? Those resources that they have to get, they usually have us, our children, dig them up out the ground, going 3 and 5 feet. I'm sorry, 2 to 3 miles in the ground with their hands digging. The things that phones are made out of, man, my memory is not serving me well right now. The elements that they use for phones, children dig that element out of the ground. Diamonds. So many diamonds come out the ground, you can probably sell a diamond for $1. They got us out here robbing and stealing for money, for jewelry. We willing to kill, maim, destroy ourselves. You gotta understand, when you're willing to steal some jewelry, now if you're willing to steal some food because you're hungry, listen, okay, you hungry. Understand, our ancestors ate. They were able to eat. But they did so in balance. They didn't do so in gluttony. They didn't do something because the system created, there are parasites in your gut that tell your brain, yo, we want the Snicker. Yo, we want the Doritos. Yo, we want, the burger. We want the cheese. There are parasites that talk in your gut that tell you, yo, I want this stuff that these people have created. Understand the correlation and them making money in sickness through what they've created. And then you go take medicines that they have laced with 4 poisons that your body has to create mucus around to protect itself, creating a cycle of sickness yet again, never curing anything. I want you to really question your world around you. Everything you touch, everything you see, smell, taste, hear, everything. I want you to start to question it. Question how, what, why, how, and who. And question how it's killing you slowly. Question how it's controlling you. Question how you have given your children into the same system and how you've done it. Christmas, New Year's, birthdays, graduations, ritualistic practices, and magic. A lot of you talk, Christian, and oh, hallelujah, and you know what? The very things that you do are rooted in magic. Rooted and not a good magic. I know. For a lot of Christians, there's no such thing as good and bad magic. But you got to understand, your ancestors had a God before Christianity. Did he tell them, oh, you know what, I want to let y'all know, let me give you out a 911. Christianity is coming, and Jesus is coming, and you're going to have a savior, and this is the thing that's going to happen. See, I find that when people say God talked to them, or God told them this, or God said this about this person, there's a whole group of white Zionists who are controlling your whole existence. And I don't see God telling you, yo, this fucker right here is doing A, B, and C. And you're going to say, God doesn't curse. Okay. There is a whole world around you, and God is not saying anything to you. God is the creator ain't stupid. But you, yeah, you stupid. And you won't admit it. You won't admit how stupid you are. You won't admit how ignorant you are. You won't admit that you're being used like a dirty rag. You won't admit that you give your children up for sacrifice. You won't admit how much you don't really love your children, and that you are part of the practice of their demise. You do not create any legacy for them. And then we got all these people out here who want to talk about they creating business, who want to scam their own people. You willing to rip each other apart for trinkets. You willing to go into fights over the NBA games, the NFL games. Gangs are mini boulets. We may have created gangs at first to protect our community, but they've been infiltrated. You work for the master. You don't think that every drug in the street is accounted for? You don't think guns are not placed in your community by people who are supposed to protect the community? You bust your guns. You get on the internet just to masturbate, to porn. They won't let me do nothing else. Yes, you know what? You got to be willing to do something else. You got to be willing to go through the pain. You got to be willing to stand up. You got to be willing to be a man. They're making your children believe that to accept everything, and to accept everything is not for kindness, it's for control. Oh, you're homophobic. It's about controlling you. And then for people who are gay, they're not going to be like, yo, we're being used. We've been given the blood, the sweat, the tears, the rights of black people, and that's wrong. The Chinese ain't gonna say, "Yo, we got a bill to protect us, but this bill should be for black people." And I always say, those who white people named black. Because understand, the word black, it's a name that they gave us. Black is a status. So when we start talking about reparations, understand it goes much more further than reparations. They owe us the very land under our feet. They owe us everything. So don't just think a check, think everything. They owe us everything. Could you imagine what it means for you to run this whole country? What would it take? Are you prepared? They want to keep you like children. That's why they call us boys and girls. Understand what it would take to run this whole country, to run our people. We do things for fun. I see brothers take their time building whole cars and not building an industry, to then take that industry as a ball of power for their people. But they do it for fun. There are things that we do for fun. We won't take the time to do for ourselves, for our people. When we get locked up, we're the most creative people. We walking around here straight dumb. We won't sit down on the weekend, put our money together to build anything. We want to go turn up, buy drugs, get high, get licked up, go party, get dressed up, draw, and a lot of us running around with shitty drawers. That's how fucked up we are in the head, yo. This is how fucked up they got us. You're not even questioning your existence, your person. You running on this like it's natural. You got old men who still trying to smash 20-year-old girls. You're a father figure, yo. Children need a father and a mother. A woman is to complement a man, and a man is to complement a woman. You're to move in unison. Your flow is a power that can't be matched. That's why they gotta break it. They gotta dismantle it. Because that power of a man and woman and of a family, the power that it generates will destroy white supremacy, destroy fuckery, destroy everything that they made. Because now you start to move in a power that they don't control. They got you believing that you should talk about everything. They got you believing you're going to have to, you got Samuels, that brother who passed, oh, like he's the truth. But you understand, let me tell you something about this, yo. Manhood doesn't need to talk. It's a force. It moves. And when you have true manhood, a woman will respond to it. Now, don't get me wrong. A woman might have some problems dealing with a real man. But a real man is able to find a real woman. And their energies, when that energy combines manhood and womanhood, the thing that the Creator created, that's a battery that these Zionists, that the system of white supremacy, that these oppressors can't fuck with. They can't fuck with it, yo. They can't do nothing with it. Because you become clear. You become like a laser beam. You become like a scalpel. And you cut so clean, so nice. What you cut may not bleed for 5 days because it's so nice. You create injuries that They don't even know that happened till it's too late. That's not something you can talk about. That's something that you manifest within inside yourself. That's something that is in you already waiting. And when you decide to grasp onto it, when you decide to move in it, when you decide to be in it, when you decide to get rid of the junk that's been placed in you, you look and you sound different. You are a walking weapon. You are a walking weapon. And they don't want that. They don't want no walking weapons. Because you don't get caught up in this media. You don't get caught up in this in this Facebook. You don't get caught up in these IGs. You don't get caught up in making these foolish videos. You don't get caught up in their fuckery. You don't get caught up in their snatch as low hanging fruit to put you in their industries. You stop even running up and down the court and up and down the field, because now you see the truth of who and what they are. That's manhood. Manhood makes your woman go, oh, I understand what I must do for us because I'm doing it for me. See, manhood and womanhood is something that you understand. It's done for the both of you, but it's done for you. It's the power of you. You don't then become willing participants of those who call themselves your master. Yo, I hope, no, fuck hope. Fuck Obama. I don't hope. I know that this message will reach you. And for those who are willing and ready and have the source of power inside of them ready to move, will do so. Let us grow. Let us build. Let us be willing to take the power that is ours today, not tomorrow. Let us protect our children. Let us protect our women. Let our women protect our children. Let us protect ourselves as a family against forces that are trying to break us every day with everything. Let us recognize what it is that's our enemy in every shape and form. Let us start to break those things. Let us start to pull away from those things. Let us be able to see clearly and speak clearly and stop finding comfort and being fools. Let's stop letting them, because they'll pay us to be a fool. They couldn't pay a Malcolm X. They couldn't pay brothers to be the brothers that are willing to live and die. They won't pay them. They will pay you to be an actor, to be a performer, to be an idiot. They'll pay you for that. They'll pay you to be gay. They'll pay you for that. But when you decide to break these chains, this fuckery, and you're willing to go through the pain of what it is to become your own, to become under your power, and make families and make manhood the thing that you stand on. Whew. Oh man, this will look so different tomorrow or today. Yo, thank you. Thank you for your time. Peace.